What's up, guys? Cage here, and it is insane to say that, dude, we get to talk about Halloween. Like, I made a conscious decision like a couple of years ago not to talk about film anymore on the channel and kind of have a focal point for the Cult Classic Cage show being gaming. I chose gaming because that's, something that I'm into that I want to discuss on the daily and that I'm not going to get tired of, right? And so I stopped talking about film. So I thought I would never talk about Halloween again, but here we are talking about Halloween because they just announced a Halloween video game and we have to go into all the autistic details surrounding this game and all of my thoughts and, everything surrounding that. So I'm really excited to be able to once again talk about Halloween on the channel. I have, a retrospective of the original Halloween on the channel. I have reviews of, I think, the past two Halloween movies that dropped, and overall a bunch of discussions on the channel revolving around Halloween. But those happened, like, I made those videos quite a few years back, but they're on the channel if you want to dive into that or just get my thoughts on Halloween as a whole from, that discussion point. But we have to talk about the Halloween official game announcement trailer that just dropped today. This video will go up like a day after, so we're going to talk about all that, and we're going to watch the trailer itself. All right, I don't care about copyright, all right? John Carpenter, take my fucking pennies of ad revenue. I don't give a shit, all right? It doesn't matter to me. We just have to talk about this because this matters a whole lot to me personally. So without further ado, if you guys can, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. You're sadly, if you want your view to count, you have to engage, right? Unfortunately, if you don't engage by hitting the like button or actually subscribing or whatever have you, leaving a comment, leave an emoji, right? Unfortunately, your view doesn't seem to count anymore on YouTube. I don't make the rules. Obviously, this just seems to be the new whatever YouTube is now. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, guys. So we are on IllPhonic's official YouTube channel, and this is the Halloween announced trailer. I don't know why they wrote announced instead of announcement, but okay, I guess. But we're gonna watch the trailer. I'm going to stop it casually and just have a little discussion on whatever I see that's interesting, and we'll see what happens. But this is going to be interesting as hell. All right, so off rip, we're seeing 3 developers here. All right, we have Compass International Pictures, which is the production company responsible for making Halloween films. And then we have IllPhonic. They did the Friday the 13th game. They did the Predator Hunting Grounds game and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I've only purchased the Friday the 13th game, which I thought was pretty good. It was janky as shit though, and they kind of started to fix it, but then, Friday the 13th lawsuit basically hindered their abilities to continue on with the game. And Predator Hunting Grounds, I played the beta for that, and it was awful, so I never bothered playing it anymore after that. And Killer Clowns, I've heard some good things about Killer Clowns, but Killer Clowns doesn't have, like, widespread appeal, so not that many people bought the game, so I wasn't really inclined to buy it myself, personally. But I heard some good things. Now we have Further Front, and they are responsible for the 2D platformer Halloween game that was also, like, doing a crossover with Ash vs. Evil. That was also the same type of game. And I honestly don't know how that panned out, because I was going to buy the games, but I heard that they were like 2 hours a piece, and the asking price for those games were astronomical for what essentially are small scale video games. So I just didn't find it justifiable, even though I wouldn't mind having played 2D platformer games, obviously playing as Michael Myers as Super W right there. And then we have Gun. Gun is an interesting one for sure. They did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that I was really into. I played it on I think I tried it on Game Pass, and then I ended up buying it on Steam. Whichever. I think I bought it off rip on Steam, if I'm not mistaken. But I played it for a good bit. I put about like 50 or so hours, give or take, into the game, and I was enjoying the game. The issue was that, literally days after release, they disabled crossplay on PC. So you couldn't for some reason play with people on other platforms. So I had homies on fucking Game Pass that, I wanted to play with, and that was just a disaster. And then, like, a year after release of the game, they announced that they were doing a final update, and that was that. And so I think that all these developers have really great potential, but they've never been able to fully come into their own. And the fact that they're all being gathered together for this, game production, this is going to be a major game in this genre. Like, the big game of this genre is Dead by Daylight. And personally, I'm not a fan of Dead by Daylight. I've tried it a multitude of times. I have a lot of friends that like playing Dead by Daylight, but it never really captured my interest personally. I just think that the moment-to-moment gameplay is not at all fun. Obviously, I had to try it because they put Michael Myers in the game as well as Laurie Strode, so that was important to me. I had to give it a try for that. and I just don't like the gameplay, especially if you're playing as a victim, I guess you could say. It's not fun at all. You know, I don't know. I think they're enabling these like machines, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan personally. I don't see the appeal of Dead by Daylight, but it has had long-standing appeal. It cannot be denied how many years this game has had a very strong player base. The fact that it does is a testament to its own, you know, its own abilities. Whether I see that or not, I'm not going to be ignorant to that. Now, Dead by Daylight, I think, you know, there's a lot to compete with Dead by Daylight because of all the crossovers that they have. But this game is clearly setting up to be a major competitor. You have 3 game developers working on this that have at least some form of connection to the type of game that we're talking about or the franchise itself. And obviously, Halloween is, you know, the people behind this are behind it as well. This is aiming to compete with Dead by Daylight. Whether it can or not, I can't really say, but they've gathered the weaponry to do that here. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. And Malek Akkad is Mustafa Akkad's son. Mustafa Akkad was the person that essentially provided all the money to make the original Halloween, and he went on to be behind the Halloween franchise until his untimely death during like Halloween Resurrection, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, he died while that while that movie was in production. But Malek Akkad is his son, and he seems to be somewhat as passionate for Halloween as his father. I can't really say for sure, but he's behind it one way or another. So it's very interesting that all the right people are behind this.
A quiet town, just like hundreds of other small towns all across America. A town just like yours. But it was here on October 31st.
So with this, first and foremost, whoever's playing Donald Pleasance in terms of voice acting him, not bad at all. Obviously that's supposed to be Dr. Loomis, who is an important integral part to the Halloween franchise. To me, Halloween kind of lost its identity once he wasn't involved in the films anymore, and the tone of the Halloween films had changed once, unfortunately, Donald Pleasance was no longer with us. And the fact that he's involved in this is a big deal to me because it adds that, how do you say, what makes Halloween Halloween, I think, is behind him. And what I love about Halloween always involved him. And obviously we have John Carpenter as executive producer, and he is the original director of the original Halloween. And Carpenter, he does not hide his thoughts in terms of Halloween. He's like, bro, as long as I'm getting a paycheck, I don't give a shit. As long as the royalties keep on flowing, I don't care. And Halloween provides him an immense amount of royalties. It's something that keeps him nice and comfortable. So shout out to John Carpenter. For the fact that he's executive producing is really cool.
1963. No motive, no warning, no provocation, just senseless death. I met him 15 years ago. I thought there was hope, that he could be reached. But what I met was not a child. No emotion. Perhaps not even human. 15 years later, he returned home. But what happened that night was only the beginning. It wasn't.
All right, so to get into the little details here, first and foremost, this game takes place in '78, which I think is awesome. Okay, I love, I'm a huge fan of 70s film, 70s music. I like 70s, whatever the fuck, right? I think it's a time period of a lot of just trying new things, especially from the filmmaking perspective. And obviously, Halloween 1978, big fucking deal to me personally. I'm a longtime fan, and I think that it's a good choice to obviously bring it back to the original, right? And I like the aesthetic. I like the buildings look amazing. All right, the overall visuals of the neighborhood looks very 70s. There's a lot of little details. You're looking at the houses and the little like marks and stuff. They added a lot of detail to the house. Now, the character model, I like the look of the character model in terms of like, you know, the bushy hair, you know, like your typical fucking 70s blonde, and obviously the bell bottoms. I like the character's look. I don't necessarily like how the character moves. She feels a little bit janky. But this is not bad. This is definitely not bad.
It wasn't just a killing spree. It was a reckoning.
Whoa, calm down, okay?
He was going for me too. Come on, come on, we have to go.
No.
You can't stop
Oh,
him.
here's Michael.
You can't reason with him. You can't kill the boogeyman.
Dude. Dude, that mask looks fucking insane. I love how you can't see his eyes. All right, his coveralls look on point. This is a very, very accurate, like, recreation of the original Michael Myers. This looks really good. I told you guys that I ended up trying Dead by Daylight because they added Michael Myers and Laurie Strode to the game. And the Michael Myers in that game, and not to sound like a hater, he just looks awful. I'm just being honest. This is a very accurate representation, from the hair to the shape of the mask to obviously not being able to see his eyes to how he was walking was pretty on point. I'm really liking this so far. Wow. The breathing is a big one for as weird as it sounds. The breathing is a big deal to Halloween fans. All right, if you're a fan of the original film, it's just it's something that leaves that effect, that chilling effect on you when you're watching the original film. Ooh, I like that transition. I like that they recreated the original pumpkin down to the little slice from the nose to the mouth. That's really cool. Wow. I like that transition point too, when they just go down. Pause. It's a lot, guys. If you're a Halloween fan, you understand. I'm saying all the things that Halloween fanboys and fangirls is thinking. But if you're an outsider, if you're not really a Halloween fan, you're gonna be like, Halloween fans are fucking weird. We are. It's these little details that mean so much to us. All right, so Halloween, a single player and multiplayer horror experience coming 2026 next year. So I thought this was going to be a multiplayer game, but they added a single player too. So my thing is, which devs are working on what? And if the multiplayer and single player are going to be samey, are you going to be able to play the multiplayer offline mode? Is that technically the single player, or is the single player a narrative-driven story, and then the multiplayer is sort of like a Dead by Daylight or a Friday the 13th game? There is a lot to still be known. So the fact that there is a single player, that's cool. So, obviously Friday the 13th kind of went offline and that was it, sort of deal. So this game, the fact that it does have a single player at least live on even after the multiplayer has been abandoned, which is cool. And there's a reason to go back to play it even, after multiplayer has been abandoned. So all that stuff is really cool. I'm liking what we're seeing so far. I think that's it though. Wishlist now. Okay, nice. We can wishlist the game. My question is, first and foremost, is John Carpenter going to play this game? So John Carpenter, director of the original Halloween, and, obviously he was an executive producer for the trilogy, most recent trilogy that came out, and he did the music for the most recent trilogy. But he also, a lot of people don't know this, John Carpenter likes playing video games. He loves stuff like Dead Space. He likes horror. He likes a multitude of things. I think he likes action as well. He's also doing his own game, which I will say this looks a lot better than the other game that he's involved in, that has his name on it. I don't even remember the game. But yeah, not to get into that. But I wonder if he's going to fuck around and play this game, or if it's just a paycheck to him. I wonder all these weird little things, obviously. So in regards to negatives, I have one negative about this presentation, this trailer so far, and that is the fact that they use Laurie's theme in the very beginning of the trailer. So you go to the beginning of the trailer, you hear that song. It goes something like dun 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 dun. Dun. Yeah, that's Laurie's theme. It's literally called Laurie's theme. Hold on. All right, so yeah, Halloween official motion picture soundtrack on Spotify. Laurie's theme. Obviously, I'm not going to play that for too long because obviously this video is probably not going to get monetized off rip. But yeah, that's my only issue with this trailer, is that they're using Laurie's theme and Laurie is not present at all in the game. Now, I don't know if she is going to be involved. Obviously, they confirmed that that Dr. Loomis is involved, which is cool. But as for Laurie, I can't really say. But when you're playing Laurie's theme, and I understand that Laurie's theme has a very particular tone to it, a very just chill back, like, you know, it was good for the very beginning before shit, you know, kind of stirred up. So I understand why they used Laurie's theme, but it's still Laurie's theme. So to use that, and it's like you don't understand why the song actually exists to begin with, which, you know, it's the little things sometimes with that. So that's my only issue with this trailer, that and just the jankiness of and you know, the character that I'm assuming you're gonna be playing as, the chick running into that person's house. Yeah, it's her movement is very janky. So that's my only issues with this trailer. Other than that, I love the presentation. I love everything that this trailer has going for it so far. I think that overall they're nailing what makes Halloween Halloween, and the important things of obviously making Michael look on point, really getting you into the vibe. Even, and usually I don't like this in video games, but they're even using like film grain in order to try and give an accurate recreation of the original film itself. And it does take place in '78, which to me is amazing. I'm excited for this. This is really cool. But we do have even more details in regards to this game. So let's jump onto Twitter, because the Halloween Twitter account has put out more details. All right, so on the Halloween movies page, they have the first look at in-game character models for Michael Myers and Dr. Sam Loomis. So we got them right here. And dude, Michael's face mask looks insane, bro. I mean, you could obviously see his eyes, but you know, at that point with that much detail and you're that close up, it's, you know, it's gonna be like that. Now the hair looks really good. This is a nice look as opposed to the in-game trailer, which I thought looked amazing too, but we're seeing a lot more details closer up. The coveralls have some good detail on it, some imperfections as well. I think like the main thing I'm impressed with is like the sort of intentional, you know, imperfections that were shown in the trailer. And the mask itself was a custom design from a Shatner mask, and a lot of that mask does involve, like, what makes the mask is the general imperfections. Like, they kind of get rid of you know, the sideburns that they had on the original mask when they did some of their custom design of it before spray painting it, you know. So that's really interesting for sure. I think that he has some amazing details. And now Loomis, dude, that's crazy, bro. Wow. That's Donald Pleasance, all right, especially when he was a lot younger. A lot of people obviously, you know, you watch the first film and then you see as years go on, you know, Pleasance gets a lot older, especially when they bring him back for, you know, 4 and 5, and then his last film before his death being 6. But this looks like Halloween 1 Dr. Loomis, man. I'm wondering what's his role in the game. I'm assuming he's going to be that if you played the Friday the 13th game, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can call Tommy Jarvis for help, and Tommy Jarvis comes with his gun. I'm wondering if I'm assuming Loomis is going to play that sort of same role, but he's on the hunt to begin with. So that's going to be kind of interesting. There's going to be 3 aspects of playing this game, I'm assuming. I don't know if you can play as Michael Myers. It'd be kind of sad if you couldn't. But obviously someone's going to play as Loomis, and then you're going to play as the civilian characters, I'm assuming. But overall, Loomis looks really good. I like the hair. You know, obviously his beard looks really nice. It looks like Donald Pleasance. It's very, very well. I'm very impressed, and I'm very happy with that. They did him some good justice. They said also, we are also going to have something exclusive and cool for Halloween Portal members in the morning. So it's not the morning yet. I don't really sign up for stuff, but I'll sign up because we're going to keep tabs on this game going forward up until the release, obviously. And then we're going to play the game, right? But not a member yet. Sign up for the Halloween Portal, the premier destination for fans, featuring breaking news, exclusive content, and much more. It's so fucking old school. Oh my god. In the video game version of Halloween, players will stick to the shadows as civilians, seeking out Haddonfield residents to warn them and searching for a way to contact the authorities. Okay, that like the whole contacting authorities thing makes sense. I'm assuming Michael Myers is gonna kind of put out the electricity and stuff in the neighborhood, because that's just what Myers does. All right, so as Michael Myers, so you do in fact get to play as Michael. You'll give them a reason to fear the dark and cut the phone lines. There you go, to prevent the police from ruining his favorite holiday. Whether playing solo in story mode against bots offline or facing others in online multiplayer, each mode rewards stealth, strategy, and skillful play. Okay, so there's it's an offline mode. The single player is an offline mode. It would be nice if there was like a story-driven single player game. Oh my god. Something like you know how Detroit Become Human was, or Until Dawn. I would love to see like if they were to do like an Until Dawn style story-driven game. As the single player, and then, you know, the multiplayer being the more Friday 13-ish. Oh my god, that would be so cool, but it seems as though it's just gonna be a story mode against bots, which is fine. At least that you could play it's guaranteed that you'll be able to play the game in the future, even if the multiplayer is no longer active. Each mode rewards stealth, strategy, and skillful play. Staying true to the original film, IllFonic masterfully recreates the eerie atmosphere of Haddonfield across multiple maps and authentic locations with a haunting ambience and score inspired by the legendary film. Halloween brings the terror home in the new experience that will keep both old and new generations looking over their shoulders. So the main dudes is IllFonic. I wonder what Gunn and the other team has to do with this film specifically. Halloween will unleash Michael Myers on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC via Steam and Epic Game Store in 2026. So, the only ones missing out, sadly, are, you know, obviously Switch 2 gamers. That kind of sucks. But for me, I'm a PC gamer, so I'll be buying this on Steam. Day one, baby. Wishlist soon at your preferred storefront. Let's go. Oh my god, dude. I'm floored. They did such a good job. Holy shit. All right, so we are on the official Steam storefront page for the Halloween game, and so they have some new images here, so let's check that out. This is in-game stuff it's looking like, so details still pretty good. Shadows, I don't know. Shadows are decent. This is the Strode Realty. This is Michael's house. All right, perfect. Dude, Michael's hiding right there. It took me a second to even see that he was there. What the fuck? Alright, so there's that. I wonder if there's going to be some sort of incentive, really, to get you to want to go to Michael's house. I wonder if there's something maybe special in there that's going to tempt you. And here's a dead body. Michael looking good, man. He's looking, how do you say, like, stoic, alright? Fucking Michael Myers is my hero, my guy. He's a stoic main protagonist as far as I'm concerned. So that's looking good, too, there. This looks a lot like the Friday the 13th game. And in some ways that's awesome, and in some ways slightly concerning. Slightly concerning. It seems as though they're picking up where they left off with that Friday the 13th game. Oh my god. Ugh. The character models that aren't Michael are... That's rough. Dude, what's up with her fucking eyebrows, my guy? It looks like a dude doing drag. I'm just saying, that looked crazy. The hair looked crazy too. Yeah, not feeling that victim character at all, you know, personally, but hopefully they have someone at least I can tolerate playing as. But I will not be playing as this character, that's for sure. Now they do have more details here. There's no official release date, just says 2026. That's definitely getting wishlisted the fuck out of. They said it's Halloween night, 1978. The unsuspected families of the quiet suburban town of Haddonfield are making holiday preparations, and evil has made its way home. Take the shape of evil as Michael Myers, or save your neighborhood as a hero of Haddonfield in Halloween, the ultimate asymmetrical horror sandbox. So it is like open area. I guess you could freely just roam the town of Haddonfield, which is nice. As Michael, players wear the mask, become the boogeyman, and stalk innocent residents with relentless obsession. Utilizing a nightmarish array of abilities, Michael leverages shadows and stealth to satisfy his bloodthirst. This doesn't mean Haddonfield is going to go down without a fight. Frightened town folks will call the local authorities and even fight back when threatened. Okay. Incentivizing Michael to avoid detection. And for the first time ever, fans of the transformative original film will have the option to witness the haunting narrative events surrounding the night he came home. Really? Through the eyes of Michael Myers in a standalone single-player story mode. What? Okay. Okay, I need to know more details about this story mode. All right, they're allowing you to relive the events of the original film through the story mode. The single player story, there is a story mode. It might be very, very, or it might be autistically dedicated to the events of the film, and that's what it sounds like here, and that's awesome. Okay, I'm learning new things as we go on in this video, so that's gonna be cool. As a hero of Haddonfield, it's your job to alert the residents of Haddonfield to the impending evil and help them escape before falling victim to Michael's unyielding pursuit. In dynamic and ever-changing 1v4 asymmetrical multiplayer matches, okay, 1 versus 4, that's interesting. Hero players are arming themselves with everyday household items, weapons, and knowledge to combat the unpredictable and unkillable enemy. Convincing townfolk and contacting the police will lead to increasingly powerful and thorough neighborhood patrols. To even the odds, you can command and equip NPCs with weapons to outsmart or even overpower the shape, providing precious windows for escape. This immersive horror sandbox is powered by Unreal Engine 5. Oh god, no! Oh, it's like the big negative. IllFonic working on Unreal Engine 5. That is a horror show in that of itself. Holy fuck. Unreal Engine 5 to deliver engaging and dynamic gameplay systems, lifelike NPCs. That's definitely not the case, from at least what I've seen with these NPCs so far. Haunting, realistic visuals, cinema quality lighting, and endless scares for you and your friends. Asymmetrical horror comes home in Halloween. I'm liking what they're going for. All right, we have a actual single player story mode, which that is awesome in that of itself. You can really relive the original film. Love it. I wonder if this will include Halloween 2. I doubt it. Doesn't seem like it's the case, but that did technically take place on the same night, so it'd be really nice. Be really nice to be transitioned to a fucking to the what you call it, to the not, I was gonna say hotel, but to the hospital, right? So that's really fucking cool. You have the multiplayer 1v4 where you're playing as, you know, civilians. They're not saying where Loomis plays a role in this. Is Loomis playable? That's going to be a very interesting one, man. Guys, I will be keeping up with everything surrounding this Halloween game up until we actually get to play it, so it's super exciting. Most of the things here this is good stuff, all right? We're getting a lot of things that I'm excited to really dive into. I'm a longtime Halloween fan, and they're really aiming at all the things that Halloween fans like. My main concern is obviously Unreal Engine 5, and really just, is IllFonic able to bring this to life in a better way than they were able to do, you know, Friday the 13th and Predator. And I don't know, man. I would like to see IllFonic really come into their own because they have great potential. But with that takes, you know, actual putting in the time, learning how to get better, doing a lot of things, you know, obviously improving on their craft. So I'd love to see that. I also want to know what Gun and the other game developer has to do with this game, specifically where they involved. And just overall, I want to see a you know, an actual playthrough of a typical style match that would play out in the game, because it does sound really cool. The more people know about what's going on, it seems like the more they can fight back against Michael. So I want to see how that plays out. They're aiming at some pretty high things in this game genre. So overall, I'm super excited, man. Let me know, guys, in the comment section down below, what do you think about this Halloween game? Came out of nowhere. I woke up to hearing this news and I literally just almost started screaming in happiness. All right. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this, the devs involved, what you're seeing in terms of the trailer and the images, and just getting your feedback. But overall, this is all good things from what I'm seeing for the most part. And I'm excited to see more. But this comes out next year. No official release date, just 2026. And I can't wait for more. But yeah, guys, if you can, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Even if it's an emoji, all right? Leave a cat emoji if you stayed all the way up until the end. I really appreciate it. The engagement does for sure help. And yeah, with all that being said, I'm out. Go follow me on Twitter, Kick, or Rumble. We do live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Cult Classic Cage on all those. And with all that being said, I'm out. Peace.